Greetings. I'm Christopher Logan Hill, the G.I. Joe Gamer. And tonight on Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures, Episode 7, Enhanced Edition, we're going to be talking about what's in a level. But let me bring on the rest of our group here. We've got the Fridays from the Hill players, normal crew. We've got Tiger and we've got Jake. Here we go. Oh, say hello, folks. I think Jake's still muted.
Yeah.
It looks like... Do you keep muting when I unmute it? We're going to add Katie to this thing, too.
Okay, is that better?
It's a lot better. We're live, Katie, so just so you know.
Okay.
Okay, I think Jake's got his mic back on. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh,
Greetings, Spine Ticks. Welcome.
I'm doing good.
Ooh,
there's a Spine Ticks in the chat.
Sure is. He's been joining me a lot lately.
Cool.
So today we're talking about what's in a level.
I mean, he
And
is responsible for a large amount of your viewers right now.
Well, he has helped quite a bit, and I appreciate that. Now, I'm going to switch over to this here because I've got to have this. And can y'all see that? That would be the level advancement chart for the second edition Player's Handbook.
It is so little, I can't even really.
Okay. Let me see if I can enlarge it. There it goes. Come on, man. Behave. There we go. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah. Jay's coming in on his own camera,
here to support.
and then we'll just mute the second.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah.
So we've got a full crew tonight, so this should be fun. All right, so tell me what you guys, since everybody here except for Jake remembers playing AD&D Second Edition. What do you guys remember about the level advancement chart? We'll start with. Go ahead, Katie.
I remember nothing because I think I only played once with you guys.
Oh, then we started playing my game, right? That's right. Okay, so we'll hit up the Tiger and see what she's got to say about it.
Okay, so quiet you. I remember that it took different experience points for different characters to level up. It was easier to level up a thief above anything else, and they had more skills, so that was for me that was a little weird, but that's, they didn't get a whole lot of like hit points or whatever, but they did get a lot of thief skills, and they got percentages that they could put into there, but none of the other ones really had that.
Let me see if I can scroll over there to the thief chart. This would be the
separate charts for separate
wizard chart right here.
Good.
Well, we're gonna take a look at the 5e chart too here.
Yeah, they didn't all have like I think the newest versions of
we got the cleric and druid.
Yeah, I think the newest versions of the AD&D they use just one experience chart now, so they all.
I don't know why. I just want to linger on this page, but okay, let's go.
Gee, I wonder why.
Okay, there's your rogue experience table.
Look, it's pretty much more half of all the other ones. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
And look, the bard is with it, and the bard had some skills that were just.
Yeah.
Whoa.
When you reach second level as a bard, you were kind of a badass. You could fight like a warrior, and you could cast spells. It was pretty cool. Humans and half elves didn't have it better when they were a bard, man. And that was a fun class to play.
So I don't know if it's better if they use all the same experience chart or not, because like I said, D&D now has the same experience chart for all classes, I think.
I was going to bring that up here in just a second. So
I was going to say, because I think that's how they did it on the new ones. I'm not 100% sure.
Jump back to that, and then I'll pop this up here. The 5e character advancement. I know that's covered a lot of you up, but
okay,
I just
yeah.
throw it off.
Same experience
Wait,
chart.
Just the same chart for everyone?
For everybody,
It's
yeah.
the same chart for everyone in 5e.
Oh my
So what,
goodness! You barely
that's,
need any experience to get to level 2.
Wow.
Dude,
it's a different world, the 5e game compared to the first and second edition.
That's incredible because, like, I remember taking almost forever to get to level 2.
Now, I personally have not played 5e, but I have heard a lot of people discuss it. Some people really love it. Some people really don't. This is one of the points of contention for some people, and other people really like this this one chart character advancement.
Well, I understand the one chart character advancement. It makes things simpler. But, I mean, what is that? 10 orcs and you level up or something? I mean, seriously.
It depends on how you're giving out your experience points. Now, 5e does it quite a bit different.
Oh, do they?
At least, that's what I hear because I haven't run 5e. But I have some of the 5e books. And the way they talk about it, it's like, you level up a lot faster in 5e. You go to third level like really quick.
It looks like it, given the chart there. That's crazy.
Well, like I said, I can put it back up if you guys want to see it again. But
oh no, that's fine. Because I remember my favorite class in second edition was the Ranger, and I remember celebrating getting second level.
Yes, because it was really hard.
it was really, really hard. It was really hard getting second level. And it took, I don't know, 10 game sessions maybe. It was not, you were not leveling up quite that fast. That chart there was just like, wow. I can't imagine how many skills you get and how quickly it goes.
For one level.
Well, let's take a quick shout out and say hello to Jay. Glad to see you on your own screen for a change. And then we'll say hi to Dawn. She's back there behind Jake. She plays in our home games for our Heroes of Haven's run game. So here we are. We're talking about what do you like about levels for games that use levels. So
what do I like about levels?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We all have to think about that.
Well, I got you guys all trained well.
Until you hit the max level, you pretty much know you're on par with everybody else in the group, right? And at least until you hit max, because once you hit max, you just like, and then you just get more stuff, more stuff.
Well, I know in third edition, the game kind of breaks down when you get to 10th level. I mean, that's what I didn't like about it. You would play third edition and you'd level up, and the second you were at 10th level, that game was broken. You could do anything, and some of the skills was like I remember playing an orc fighter who had like a skill where if he got a crit, he got another hit. If he killed it, and so somebody fireballed the Knights of the Round in the game we were playing. And that would be you, Tiger. And then I just walked in with my orc and I killed the rest of them because I got a crit really easy because I had the improved critical and all that. And it just seemed like they made it two-player centric. So, what's up, Lucas? Saw him in the background there, Katie.
Hello,
I know.
Well, and
yeah, because I mean, I haven't played 5e. I only played once. That was with Chad. But I've played online that are based off like D&D. Like online gaming and stuff. What was it? Neverwinter. I played Neverwinter for a long time, and once you hit the max level, is like you could be a weak max level, or if you've played forever, you have like all of these bonus, and you could
be unkillable.
Yeah,
they kind of added that to Baldur's Gate 2 as well. You started getting these skills that were just kind of ridiculous, but they were out of the high-level campaign book and the campaign options. That was right before they went to third edition.
Well, leveling in like games, like video games and things, all that does is tell you when you get your levels, it tells you which areas you can go to, and it's safe. You know, like if you're third level, you don't want to go to an area that requires you to be 10th level, or you're gonna die. And it just sort of, realistically speaking, a person doesn't know what their level is, so they don't know if they go into this area with these high level monsters, they're gonna die.
Well, my
it
philosophy
depends on the
that,
game.
Yeah, it does.
Neverwinter was. I stopped playing it a few years ago. My husband still plays it, but it's the levels didn't work because you always ended up higher level than the area you were, like, in the storyline. And so
because in a video game, you can just go level up somewhere, and then if it's too hard, you go somewhere else and you level up, you come back, and you can make it too easy.
Yeah, when it comes to video games, level just, oh my gosh. Yeah, it makes things easier, but at the same time, it's like, it's just a bunch of numbers on the screen that casual players have no idea what they even mean half the time.
That's kind of true, actually.
So,
Like,
Don or
seriously,
Jay, do you guys have any familiarity with playing with game systems that have levels?
What?
Game systems that have levels.
Neverwinter sucks ass. Neverwinter sucks ass, man.
No, it doesn't.
Don't you play D&D at school with your friends?
Oh yeah, but that's physical. That's like a physical.
They're talking about that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we're talking about leveling up. What is your experience?
Leveling up.
You might be the only one here who can tell us how the 5e advancement works.
Yeah, no. So for band-wise, we have our own little D&D thing just for band, just only band members, and it's honestly really fun. And I fucked that up royally one time. Like, we had to restart the entire game fucked up.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, life's life, man, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Life's life.
Yeah, no,
Live your life to the fullest.
I partake in that, which is the funnest thing in the world.
Well, messing up can be kind of fun sometimes. But what I'm asking you is, how does the level advancement really work?
I'm not sure because I don't pay attention to that.
And a lot of people don't. So that takes me to my point.
I don't deal with it.
Yeah, it takes me to my point that, and my philosophy is that the world doesn't know what level your character is. So you wander around, the world's like, oh, he's too low level, he can't come over here. The world doesn't do that. How many band people played bards? That's from Spine Ticks.
level?
Oh, goodness.
That's a good question, sir. So Jay, how many of you in the band there play bards?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, that's what we get for picking on, the newbie. It's all right. Okay, so that takes us to Lenharrow, the way we do things. So we'll start with Jake, since you haven't said a lot.
Yeah, Max.
Tell us what you think of the way we advance in Lenharrow.
Well, in Lenharrow, basically, instead of gaining experience and getting levels, we get what are known as character generation points, or CGPs. And basically, they're like experience points, except instead of using them to level up, you get them as like a sort of pseudo currency to spend on whatever skills or stat upgrades you want. And that way it becomes a little more tangible than, I've reached level 3. Here's arbitrary health upgrade, arbitrary attack boost, arbitrary this.
Yeah, you're stuck with
You
whatever
get
it
five
is.
skills all at once.
That is a good point. When you level up, you are stuck with whatever it is your class gives you for that level.
Now
It
we've
just
talked
seems so
about
arbitrary every single time.
on this show. We've talked about how we do lifestyles instead of class. Lifestyles are kind of a bit more laid back. It gives you a skills alignment to usually 2 or 3 skills. Sometimes one of them does 4, or a couple of them maybe. And that's the skills you have easier access to, but that doesn't stop you from purchasing skills from, say, something you're not aligned to. It just costs you more until you get that alignment, and you can buy that alignment too.
Yeah, we
Right.
put
Once
that
you buy it,
in
you can put things in that category.
the cost of things is kind of a translation as to like how long it takes you to learn that skill, kind of a thing. So like the most inexpensive skills are your guild skills, because once you learn how to pick a lock or notice little discrepancies in the earth to find traps or whatever, it's easier to make those skills go up because you're practicing and you're able to see more things, or you have more experience with more different types of traps and things like that, or whatever.
Well,
Right,
and also
'cause
we generally try to say like you've done your training, but you don't actually have use to that until you spend your CGPs, your access to the skill that you have trained for. When you spend the CGPs, that means you've mastered it and you've learned it.
Yeah. And then what is it? Magic is a little bit magic's more expensive because it's a skill that you need to sit down in a classroom and study books, and it takes the time to learn magic.
Or with a mentor.
Or with a mentor. And our most expensive skills are actually martial arts, because one, sometimes our martial arts can be broken, and two, it takes a lot of practice, time, and discipline to get martial arts. To be able to punch somebody and knock them out, you have to know how to punch them exactly where you need to for that to happen.
One of our guild members also took our game system at one point and played a Star Wars game and used the martial arts system for the Force, and it worked pretty good.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do with the way our system works as far as advancements. Now, what we do is we the way I do it, and it's set up so that the ref can decide in the Lenharrow however they want to do it. But I have players do 5 game sessions, and then they get their first advancement. They get a few more hit points. They get a little bit more resistance rolls. And when they get their skills is whenever they spend their CGP, so that really doesn't matter. So it's basically the same thing as like leveling up, but then after that, it's like every 10 game sessions, they get another little advancement. But I also max out the racial hit points in the game too, so that the hit points don't get ridiculous. And there's a reason for that.
I had a character with almost 300 hit points once, and that was just like crazy.
Well,
like if someone were to shoot arrows at me, it would have taken them all day to shoot enough arrows at me to kill me. I think that's a bit ridiculous.
Well, that's why we also
does sound ridiculous with higher numbers.
Missile paralyzation rule, because if you get shot, it hurts, and sometimes it takes you a while to recover from that pain. It's a shock to the system. So we have that in the game too. So
yeah, health is a really big reason why I love Lenharrow, because 100 hit points feels like a big number, whereas you play an RPG and your characters have 5,272 hit points, and it's like, what does that even mean?
Well, also
Right,
at
that's
that point,
crazy.
At that point, hit points don't mean anything. And so we're going to go with Katie here real quick, and let's see what you think of the way we do the advancement of Lenharrow, since you've experienced it a few times. And then we'll go pick on Jay, because Jay hasn't experienced it yet, because we're coming up on session 5 for our Ravagers of Carnage game on Mondays. And that's going to be her first experience with Lenharrow advancement. So go ahead, Katie.
Well, I like I like Lenharrow advancement because, like Tiger said, with the guild skills, you learn them over time. You know, every time you open a lock, you get better at it. Every time you de-arm a trap, you get better at it. And you know, so what?
I said, you said D-arm. It's disarm.
D-arm.
All right,
Arm the trap.
it's disarm, but
Ignore Jake. That's
all right.
autism there. He has to fix it because
I got to point something out here, and I know she did it on purpose, but it just everybody just take a look at this just for a second and read Tiger's name tag there and tell me your reaction, because mine is a little like, hey, you.
It took you that long.
Yes, because I was thinking about other things, but okay.
I heard that from the very beginning.
Yeah, I saw that at the beginning too.
20 minutes here, and you notice it. I was even doing this. I was pointing at it too.
You are not a level. You're a free player. Yes.
It gives me real like Harry Potter Dobby vibes.
What does?
So I think
I am not a level. I'm a free elf.
No, it's actually from The Prisoner.
The old TV series, yes. He
I
said, I'm not a number, I'm a free man.
I'm a free man.
Oh.
So sorry for that
It gave me
distraction.
Harry Potter vibes because I was more into like other things.
So
I get it.
So
You're a
yeah,
different
so
generation.
I just you know, when you have levels, it's a trick. Dog, you need the sock.
All the socks.
It's the beauty of live streams, you know.
I don't have any socks to give him though. See, no socks.
Dude, he ended up collecting
Anyone else?
I'm not wearing any
Probably
shoes or
just
socks
have a
right
pile
now.
of socks now.
I got the socks.
Anyways, with not having levels, you know, when you level up in a traditional like D&D setting, you know, it's like a hard set, and then all of a sudden your character can do like 50 more things that he couldn't do 5 minutes ago. And where in Lenharrow it's more gradual because you don't have the levels, and you know, you can go buy stuff, spend your CGIPs. That's what we called them back in the day, CGIPs.
Yep. CGP.
It feels a lot more tangible than all of a sudden, because you have to actually go somewhere or pay a guy to teach you. Whereas in D&D, it's just like, all of a sudden, I know how to do this. We're in the middle of the woods. Where did you have the time
when you
to
level
do that?
up, you get your experience. You could be in the middle of an adventure, and all of a sudden, blah, bling, oh, look, I got more hit points and stuff.
Well, this conversation is kind of one-sided. I was hoping one of the guild members would show up that actually played like 5e or even 3rd or 4th, so we could get their perspective on that if they enjoy leveling up. Because I have noticed a lot of the game designers are going away from
Don
levels.
played 5e.
Don, jump in here. What do you think of leveling up in 5e?
Yeah, I've actually played 5e with a few different people, and it really, with level up, it just varies depending on the person. So while I've had a few that really were like middle of an adventure, or like we stopped mid-fight and did level up stuff between it.
Wow.
But every once in a while, but once I had someone who had like a game master that actually would make sure that it was cohesive with the story they were trying to tell when they did the level up. But that was milestone level up. If you did go solely off of experience level up, then yeah, you're gonna wind up with a bunch of random stuff in the middle of like combat and shit.
Krabby evolved into Kingler right in the middle of combat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you this then, Don. Since you have in Heroes of Haven's Run, you've experienced an increase. So what do you think is better?
I like the CGP thing better because then you actually get rewarded for doing cool stuff in character versus my experiences with Dungeons and Dragons, where I would do something really cool in character, but really, aside from getting a magical item every once in a while, there was no real between session reward for doing something cool specifically for the character.
So you're saying that Dungeons and Dragons still only does experience points when you kill monsters, and that's it?
No, like I said, it varies depending on the game master. It's basically either EXP or milestone.
Oh, so they actually do milestones in D&D now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
And milestone really is the DM can give you a level up whenever they feel like it. And the ones that I had that have done milestone would only let us level up after we finished a dungeon that had like 5 levels, that had monsters that were like 5 or 10 levels above, like critical danger ratings. They were like way out of the park.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so really, with milestone, my experiences, they only used that as a way to get our try and get our characters to survive.
And how do you feel about the hit point progression?
In Dungeons and Dragons versus Lenharrow, personally, Dungeons and Dragons just flat out doesn't make sense. Like you got different hit point increase based off of your class, which I really does not make sense. Whereas in
I am a
Lenharrow,
rogue. I get a D4 plus 1 to my hit points because I am a rogue. You decided to be a rogue.
or you get
It's
like
just
a
the way they
D6.
always did it in D&D. It was always by class, so I get that aspect of it. But to me, it didn't make any sense the way they did hit points at all. I mean, especially when you had something like the level drain status effect into the game system,
Personally,
where
I
you
feel
get level drained. I had a player who was playing a Cavalier in the old first edition.
As opposed to
Cavaliers
be a
would have
rogue.
broken.
And yeah, the Cavalier was kind of broken as it was, and they had a D12 hit die. And he got up to 10th level, but then he got level drained to 5th level. And the way it worked was you roll to see how many hit points you lose by the D12. And then when you level up again, you roll to here, you get your hit points back. The problem with that was he kept rolling low when he lost hit points and high when he gained them. And then he got level drained again down to like 2nd level because we were playing in Ravenloft because that was my jam back in the day. But he ended up getting back up to 5th level, and he had 200 hit points.
That's crazy.
It was just, to me, it was like, it was kind of broken. So I made a house rule at that point that people got maximum hit points. So whenever they got level drained, they lost the same amount of hit points. So that when they leveled back up, they got it back. To me, it didn't seem to make sense. So what do you guys think about that? The whole level drain issue and hit points.
Honestly, level drain just sounds stupid.
it really
Haha!
does.
Haha! I am stealing your memories and skills.
Yeah, that's the part that I didn't understand. So, like, if a vampire is draining you, how is he taking your mind and your skills that you've learned from you?
I all of a sudden forgot how to do spin attack.
Right? It's just really strange. The idea of losing skills with your levels. I'm talented in reading and writing. A vampire ate me, so now I have no reading and writing. That's just
Because
like,
they used non-weapon proficiencies in 2nd edition, and you would lose those too because you lost your level, and if you gained a proficiency because you leveled up, you would lose that in the level drain. And I didn't understand why you would forget something that you learned how to do. Again, I can understand how it makes your body weaker.
Yeah.
Even your mind to a certain extent, but you shouldn't unlearn what you've already learned.
Right.
Well, some of the skills you lost, it's like, how would that even work? You know, like
It would make more sense if it were to basically shrink down the area of success for specific roles. like for like stats and stuff. So like you would have to crit in order to succeed after being bitten by a vampire.
Right.
So,
I
like-
understand stat decreases. I understand loss of hit points. I understand having a penalty like -2 penalty to like attack or something for a while, or maybe even be like a curse like that works the whole time. But to lose levels and skills and things like that, I yeah, there you go.
I know Kung Fu. I
forget
forget
Kung
Kung
Matrix.
Fu.
Yeah, like how do you forget that?
Good call, man.
How
Good
do you
call,
forget
finally.
that? That just
And
makes no
Sith
sense
Lordly.
to me
I
whatsoever.
mean, for example, like, what if you're a warrior at level 5 and learned how to use a longsword at level 6, and then you get level drained at level 7 to level 4? Pointy end goes where?
Yeah,
At
exactly.
that point, it doesn't even go in the other man. It might go in your leg.
Exactly.
It's like
That is
reverse
it
judo.
exactly.
I know Kung Fu.
And-
I forget.
And yeah, the as for the hit point things, yeah, why is your class determine how many hit points you have? What does your class have to do with your own personal body and your own personal self? So the way we do it in Lenharrow is it's based off your power score, and that's a new ability that we created. And what your power score is a culmination of all your ability scores put together, and that is your core. Your power score is your core, and that's how we figure out hit points
Why I
is
personally think
from what your
Lenharrow
core
more
is,
than
from your
D&D
all of
stat-wise
your
on-
yourself as a character, all your ability scores, your might,
Okay.
your intellect, your all that put together. And then when you get an increase, that's how you figure out what your hit points are. Plus, you get your bonuses from what vitality you have, because the vitality is your body, how strong your body is. And then we have a hit point cap based on your race. So our generally
Kind of.
Plus or minus your vitality bonus, right?
right. So if you're playing like a base character, like a human, the most hit points you can have is 50 hit points if you have no vitality bonus. So you can max out at 50 hit points, and that's it. You can't have anything more than 50 hit points until, and it hasn't come out yet, you go into advanced lifestyle. But again, we haven't come out with that part of the system has not been released yet.
We're
But
hoping to release that
we
player's
do have an
expansion
advancement
next
beyond
year.
that. But that's when you get to crazy, when you get to crazy epic adventures, when you're going against like, dragons or deities or really powerful demons and things like that. Because
People
That's
keep
really
those
not a
creatures-
required part of the game.
No.
So go ahead, Jake. Let's hear your take on that.
Okay, so with HP caps, hubs, and how Lenharrow does it, it makes a lot of sense because it's based on personal growth. Yet, after thinking about it for a bit, I do understand how D&D can think class equals health progression because it's based on how you train your character. Yet, it still doesn't make much sense to make it differentiate that much because who's to say that your wizard isn't doing sit-ups on the side or
Right?
Your barbarian
don't get me
is sitting
wrong.
there in the
I love
classroom
D&D
learning
Second Edition,
practically
and
how to
I
use his
played it
sword.
for years. And I did love leveling up, and I love that feeling of leveling up.
It's a dopamine rush to level up because bigger number go burr.
So how do we deal with that? When we no longer have that. Katie, what do you think?
I've never really played with levels, so
It gets you every time, Katie.
I mean,
Like me, he has issues.
There's issues.
you do
Abs
have
of steel.
I mean, you do have
Ow!
you do have people like that who
Who
have
gets punched in the
no.
gut. Call an
Work out.
ambulance, but not for me.
Come on, man. That's kind of rude, guy. Go ahead,
Sorry.
Katie.
So besides video games, I never really played RPGs leveling up. Like I said in the intro to makeover edition of the Player's Guide, you know, Sarah dragged me kicking and screaming to the first game with Chris and Tiger over here. And I was like, all I knew about role playing at that time was my brother played it, and I wanted nothing to do with it. And so,
You are. Now look at you, mother.
and after that first session, I just kept going back till I got married and moved away.
So what's funny is Sarah's going to be joining us in the Ben Canton game. At least she wants to at this point. And we're kind of pulling her in, dragging as you're kicking and screaming. It's a nice little reversal of fortune. Nah, she doesn't have to be dragged in. She definitely wants to play. But
Yeah.
we haven't seen her for a long time. Uncanny Swag, welcome, sir. Yes, oh snap. Okay, does anybody else have any thoughts on that subject?
Which particular one again? I forgot what we're talking about.
The feeling of leveling up.
Oh, actually, I think our system is better because it happens in between games, not game sessions, but adventures. So like you can't be in the middle. Well, you can do a few things in the middle of adventure. Like for example, we do have things like granted powers, and that's just you sitting there communing with your deity and requesting a new power, and your deity either says yes or no. So some of those things you can do during an adventure, or like guild skills. You could actually up some of your guild skills during an adventure because you're using it in practical use. Like you're currently, searching for traps or disarming traps or whatever. But whereas if you want a new skill, you have to be in a town or somewhere someone could teach you that new skill. And I think it's more rewarding because you have more to do on your quote unquote off game time or your off adventure time. Your character's not just sitting there waiting for another adventure. Your character's out there looking for a teacher or paying for someone to teach him how to do something, or that sort of thing. And I feel like it's more rewarding in my opinion.
The whole guild skills being increased, all I could think of is just a rogue sitting there while everyone's resting, while he's sitting on watch. He's just playing with a lock that he has.
Yeah, that actually
Exactly.
Just fiddling with it.
That actually can work.
Or I can see a mage sitting there, fiddling with, just spell components, and just all of a sudden you're like, what the freaking hell was that?
I mean, I'm going to have my character who happens to be a military official train a dog to be in the military between sessions. It's going to be great.
Yes, that's gonna be awesome.
Yes, you're gonna start the
have a dog canine unit, and it's gonna be awesome.
Canine unit in our town. I got 4 war dogs. I can help you with that.
Yep.
Well, we've been trying to get to that session 10, but it seems like we're down to about a game a month instead of every other week lately. And yesterday was my fault because I wasn't feeling very good.
You were feeling sick, and we wanted to do. Everyone else wanted to Pokemon raid, so that's what we did. Is we Pokemon raided instead. Still didn't get that dog.
Raid is a lie. It's a trap.
It is a trap. We didn't even. We got what 1 pixel. We got 1 pixel, and that's it on Mewtwo.
We had good statted Mews.
Yeah, all Mews. Every last one of us maxed out Mews, and we got 1 pixel.
They get you, don't they? Now, I kind of, this whole subject of how we increase and everything. When you leveled up in a standard D&D game or anything, and I remember from 2nd edition, and to a certain extent 3rd edition, how you would get more hit points, sometimes resistance rolls. Every once in a while, you might get some more proficiencies or what we call talents now, and that was it. You would wait for your level up, and that would be what you would get. Now, that's okay. and it can be very fun, and that's like I've said before, that's an adrenaline
I have a
rush.
problem with that too, because sometimes you got skills that you never even used.
True. So, but how do you guys? What I was going to ask was, how do you guys feel about how we do it in Lenharrow when you get your increase, where you get a little bit of hit points and a little bit of resistance rolls, which is what we call saving throws.
And faith points. Don't forget
faith
them
points,
faith
which
points.
is something
I
we
love
totally out of
those.
the game, and we can talk that too
Those
in
are
a
the
bit.
best
But
ones. Faith points are the best.
so, in comparison, since you remember more than some of the others, Tiger, what makes it different for a Lenharrow increase than a level, or do you think it's the same?
Well, it's definitely not the same. And the way we do it, because you can get your hit points in the middle of an adventure. You can get your increase in the middle of an adventure. That is something that is a bit different for our system, but it makes sense because when you get more hit points and better resistance rolls, it's just that you've just achieved that. Luna was talking about, it's kind of like a milestone type thing. You've reached that milestone, and that's your achievement. You're like, I'm a little bit tougher. It's harder to kill me now, kind of a thing.
And it makes sense that can happen in the middle of an adventure, because you're sitting there, you're fighting monsters, and you're training when you're resting. Like, it would make sense that could potentially happen while you're in the middle of an adventure.
Yeah.
As opposed to, again, with level up systems giving you random skills. Oh, all of a sudden, I know how to do this really cool flippy thing.
Right? And you weren't practicing it or didn't even want it, for that matter.
It's just, I can do a flippy thing. Would I ever use it? No.
Well, here you go. I mean, you look at the old second edition advancement. And we're talking, that was kind of weird. We were all stacked to the but if you look at the advancement chart, you had to get a lot of experience points when you got to higher levels just to even get that little bit. And then when you reach 10th level, it was like 2 hit points every level.
Right.
And your saving throws got even less. Hello, Rascal and Lucy, welcome.
Oh, fine. Our chat is active today. That is cool.
Yeah, for us. Yeah, it's kind of new to us. Hey, man, who said you could go?
Come back here. Come back here, I say.
It was a total accident. I was here.
Somebody, hey, whoa, what's going on here?
Tiger's sneaking off. What the heck? Get back here.
What are you guys talking about? I got the chat up here. I can't see nothing.
All right, so I looking at this advancement chart, like I was saying, in Lenharrow, what we do is when it goes by a milestone. So I feel, and this is why I changed the system, that it's just better to do that as an increase every certain amount of game sessions than all of that.
As opposed to, I need 1 million experience for 3 hit points.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the way I see it, the game sessions you attend is a level up. You just don't get the boost or increase until you reach a specific number, which makes sense because you wouldn't experience an increase every single time.
Well, this is true. You shouldn't. But there were some times playing AD&D where you would get a lot of experience points all at once, and you could level up 2 and 3 times in a game, and you'd get all these hit points, and all of a sudden you went from, let's say, 12 hit points to 30, and it just changed the game like in an instant. And the experience points are there, and it's up to the DM to decide how many hit points you get, which we call DMs and GMs referees, but the same concept. Let's see, Rascal Lucy says, it was a lot of fun, and the food was amazing at the Chihuahua birthday party.
Tiger's still trying to sneak off.
No, she's happy. It's the compatibility with her iPad. It sometimes does weird stuff.
What are you talking about?
You keep popping in and out.
He's teasing.
That's weird. You know what's really weird, guys? It has not done that. On
Well,
my
it's
iPad.
probably because we have a lot of people in the chat right now. I mean,
Saying.
on the screen.
On
Act-
my
Not the
iPad,
chat. I don't
it's
think the
not
chat has anything to do with it. Sorry. But anyway, that's where I'm at with it. I mean, the whole idea of leveling up to me just isn't as fun as it used to be.
Well, I want to kind of go back to that higher levels on D&D. When you got to higher levels on D&D, it was a lot more disappointing to get a level up because the rewards weren't as great. Like when you were first level, you got to second level, you celebrated because you got like a lot of stuff, it seemed like, for your character. But when you went from like, oh, I don't know, level 10 to level 11, you're like, oh, okay. You know, it didn't seem as rewarding when you were at the higher levels, because you got they do limit your hit points. Like, I think it might be because of the whole hit points thing. I still think they give you way too many hit points, but when you get to the higher levels, they stop giving you like your vitality bonuses and stuff like that, and you get like you said, 2 hit points. Oh, 2 hit points. Great.
Well, fighters got 3.
Add it to my
Oh,
83.
fighters got 3. I know, and mages got 1. I remember. Mages got 1.
One hit point.
Yeah, and mages got 1. Yes.
Gradual increase for me is a lot more satisfying, you know?
Wait. So mages who already have probably the worst armor.
Yes.
The worst health to
They
begin
had
with.
the worst armor. They had the lowest amount of hit points. You can have a 20th level mage have only 50 hit points.
That's why it's a meme. The mage died of 1d4 sneezing damage.
Well, if you check it out here, the wizard progression, when you get the 1 hit point, but look how many experience points you had to get just to get that 1 hit point. I know this is total.
Almost 3,000 experience just to get an extra.
Well, it's over 100,000 from 10 to 11. That's a lot of experience points.
Very.
See, that's why I like the hit point cap.
No. You got to put the socks in the book. You got you this time, Tiger.
Yes.
Huh?
He got you this time.
What did I get?
No, spine takes. He jumped on it.
Oh no, that was me that was laughing like a hyena.
Well, I know that. I meant.
I don't.
If I get this right here. No, I put this up on the screen right when you started talking.
Yeah, see how you are? See how you are? Your fault. It's not anybody else's
Again,
fault.
at this
No,
point,
you gotta
I think
blame me.
Gabby
It's
just
not
has
fine.
a
You
pile of
control
socks
that.
because all the
You
fans just keep
control
giving
that,
Gabby
sir.
socks.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting in this chair.
So, Jay, as a newcomer's perspective,
Yes.
what do you think about leveling up and getting increases in Lenharrow? Put you on the spot here.
I personally think it makes more sense in my opinion.
Which one?
Lenharrow versus normal.
So you're gonna make me win again? This is not fair to leveling up, is it?
I mean, it kind of is because yours makes sense. The others don't.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do. But is it because I'm just you're only in favor of Game Master, or because you really feel that way?
Well, considering it's you versus my band director, you.
That's fair.
That is fair, but you've never played one of his D&D games, though, guys. Chris is actually a really, really good ref. We've had some really, really good refs, and we've had some really, really bad refs. And it does on that aspect, it doesn't matter how good or broken or great the system. If you have a bad ref and it wouldn't matter what system they have. You have to have a good. Right. You have to have a good mediator, a good ref, and someone who can moderate really well, and a good storyteller to make things more interesting for the players. Like, for example, Chris, if he starts seeing that we're getting bored with something, he might throw something in there to spice things up. Or if he sees that we're really excited about something, he'll just let us go and have fun.
Okay, Spinetips asks, for us new subscribers, can you give a brief summary of where the Lenharrow name came from? And is it similar but better than D&D homebrew? Well,
it is way better than D&D. I have played 5 years. I can attest to this.
I guess we're starting with Dawn. Tell us how you feel, Dawn.
So I've actually tried both playing and running my own D&D campaigns. Thank you. And I've actually
Mike's right there.
with D&D, it's just a lot to keep track of.
Well, let me put the question up there so you can remember everything.
You mainly just have to remember the abbreviations for specific things, and it can all almost be brought down to one specific sheet. Whereas D&D, you have to have like 5 other papers on top of it, just so you can keep track of how many spell slots and stuff you need.
Well, to be fair, the basic character sheet for Lenharrow for the Light Edition is only front and back. But the Enhanced Edition is 6 pages.
That is true. I have some characters.
And then you've got spell sheets on top of that.
Yeah, I have some characters with 10 sheets here, guys.
Yeah, you get into the advanced lifestyles and yeah.
Well, so are you saying there's more for D&D or for Lenharrow, Don?
For Lenharrow has less paper and less things for you to keep track of mid-game than in D&D, where in D&D you have to actually have specific things written down if you have memory issues.
Oh yeah, because they make you write down what spells you're memorizing every day.
Oh, there's more skills in Lenharrow.
Well, and as for the word Lenharrow, Spinetips,
oh yeah, let's let Chris tell everyone where the name Lenharrow came from, because this is his creation there.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest to all of you. I like the Harrow part of it because I'm a big fan of Halloween, and I don't know why I just put Len on the front of it, but when I did that, it just all seemed to click for me. And we're talking, probably 1999, 2000, when that I actually came up with the term Lenharrow, maybe a little later. But, because we originally were just calling the game system Carnage, but Lenharrow itself, it really stems from the word harrow because it's supposed to be harrowing and an adventure. So I wanted to call the world that adventure.
Yeah. So he called the world we played on Lenharrow, and we used to play a game that he created that was a D&D homebrew, like you guys were talking about earlier.
But the World Player's Guide with the homebrew.
No. Okay, so with Carnage, what he did is he stripped the character down to almost nothing. And he gave you a piece of paper with your ability scores, but it didn't have a number on there. It had a word on there for each of your ability scores. Like it would say average or, I don't remember some of the words that you used, but we didn't know what our actual
there was average, and then it was like experienced or something like that. And then there was superior, and then there was genius level.
Yeah. So he put that on our character sheets, and we did not know what our resistance rolls were at all. He didn't let us see those at all. So, and he did all the rolling for resistance rolls. So we didn't know what our resistance rolls were. We weren't exactly sure what our ability scores were. The only thing we knew for sure was our hit points, and
at first you didn't even know your hit points.
No, we knew our hit points. You always gave us our hit points, but we didn't know what our defensive rating was because we didn't know what our ability scores were.
Right.
So
it became a lot of work for me though. So I had to simplify it so that the players could do their bit and make the game go faster.
Right. And then instead of levels, he gave us that's when we started the CGPs. He said, okay, I want you to take these experience points and spend them on the skills you want. And we handwrote them on our sheets. And that is how we played Carnage. Carnage was almost like a blind gaming sort of thing because we didn't know all of our stuff. and all we knew was our skills, and that was it. What skills we had, and we would tell them, okay, well, I hit this armor rating or whatever, and so and he knew what any bonuses we had from our it was a lot more work for the referee on this particular one. I know that. But when D&D went from 2nd edition to 3rd edition, and Chris and I were thinking about, okay, so what are we going to do? Because we do not want to buy all the new stuff. We do not want to throw out our old stuff. Well, we're going to throw it out anyways, but we don't want to disregard all the old stuff. He spent like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons. And
the folks in the chat right now are very familiar with that. I just did my AD&D and me video, showed off all my modules and my D&D and me video. It showed off all my game books, so they see the collection that I had put together. So
yeah,
that can give you a sense of why I didn't want to just say, oh, well, that's all no good anymore.
It's just reference.
Exactly. Okay, so we were sitting down and we're like, okay, why don't we make our own system then? Why don't we get what we like out of gaming and create our own system? And when we were trying to figure out, levels and skills and all that, we were wondering how we were going to structure everything. And we're like, I said, well, why don't we, because I really liked, a lot of our gamers liked Carnage where we didn't know anything. I said, well, why don't we take your idea of Carnage and build off of that, except make it so that it's not so hard for the ref.
We'll say thanks to Rascal and Lucy real quick. I think so too. That's why I wanted to share it.
Yeah.
Yes, go D&D. Anyways, so yeah, we broke everything down, and so we took everything and we broke it down and we went skill by skill, literally, what we thought each skill was. So we have our combat skills, we have our rogue skills, we have our magic skills, we have our divine skills, we have our martial arts skills, and those are the 5 main skills that when we broke down all the skills that you found in role-playing games in general, not just D&D, but in role-playing games in general. And we were able to categorize them in those 5 categories, and that's where we started to build our system of Lenharrow from.
Yeah. And I came in, like, I think right after you guys had started testing Lenharrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you hadn't had
essentially where we're still just playing AD&D 2nd edition, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of changes to it, but it's progressed a lot.
Well, the progressions have always been like, well, what's not working? Right. For example, our ability scores when we first started could be anywhere between 9 and 20 starting. And so when we were reorganizing, we're like, well, that seems a bit ridiculous, and I kind of agree. And we're like, well, what do we do to fix that? And so Chris was thinking of a way to roll different dice or whatever. I said, why don't we use D&D's version of anywhere between 9 and 18. And when we did that, it actually fixed that particular problem. So anytime we have like a little bit of a problem, like for example, people were hitting their maximum hit points before. We used to allow people to buy a hit degree. And they kept hitting their hit point max way too soon because a lot of people would spend all their CGPs on hit points and no skills. So we're like, okay, well, how do we fix that? And that's where we came up with the level ups. They're not level up, but milestones, I guess. Is that what we're calling them now? I don't even know.
Yeah, milestone systems is basically the general term for systems that don't use levels explicitly.
Yeah, it's basically just
increase. That's what we call it. I'm sorry, I was thinking the word we used.
You know what? You're gonna need to be a little bit stronger than this. Gives one level up.
I'd like to say hello to Artie Yento. That's somebody definitely new to our chat. Welcome.
Hello.
It's literally just you level up when the GM feels like you should level up.
Which, in a way, has a little bit of rigidity to it, but at the same time, it's like
no, it's just
more flexible.
Yeah,
Well,
because you know,
flexible, but it's just
Again,
it's
I
annoying.
really enjoy Lenharrow's system because the referee does tell people when they can spend their CGPs, but instead of having set things that they get, players can spend it on whatever they want. Like,
Yeah.
Right. Even if they're not aligned to it.
damage bonus.
And you can just make a list of skills you want for when you do have enough CGP
Right.
to purchase it.
What I do is while I'm playing, if there's a specific skill during role playing that I'm like, ooh, that would have been useful, I'll put a little mark next to it because I feel like it puts the idea in my character's head. Hey, this would be a useful skill. For example, the character I'm playing right now in our Haven's Run game, I'm playing a big fat cat man, a big huge heavy set cat man who runs a tavern. And I got a ring of invisibility and I've been using it. So I got the idea, well, it'd be great if I had the back attack skill. So I put a little mark next to it so it reminds me, this is what my character wants, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because I think when you have a system like D&D where you have to pick a class and you're stuck in that class. So, because when I'm developing a character, my character comes along as I'm playing, right?
Yeah,
so,
so you might change your character. Yeah.
Yeah, for example, right now, Aoi in the Carnage game, I set her up. Initially, she was a woodworker apprentice tradesman to her father, and now she's thrown into this role. So, originally she was going to have a hammer and maybe have a little bit of magic, and she has examination magic, but now she's leaning more towards, I want to get this bow up and, I'm going to be an archer type thing, just how it's developing in game and stuff, and even with the upcoming mag game, so because I had no idea that Patches was gonna be a lesbian until
I was a bit surprised on that when you said that. I was like,
well, I guess that's something to learn.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that too, Spine Takes. Arnie is RDRR. I'm thinking we might have a troll. I'm not 100% sure, though. That'd be a first for our show, so whatever. Nobody was blaming you. at least not tonight.
No.
Yeah.
And that's how my books go too. When I'm writing, I'm not the type of author who can plan out a book from start to finish and then go back and write the chapters. I write as I go, and the end of the book is a surprise to me as it is to the reader. So
I generally have an idea when I'm writing a story.
Yeah.
But I know where I'm going to start, and I know about where I'm going to end. But that middle part, that's the fun part. I love to determine what's going to happen as I write.
Yeah, but even that
start how I wanted to end, I have no idea how to get there.
I don't know about that, guys. I don't know if I'm getting big. I find it to be funny sometimes, but
yeah, I do like that about Lenharrow because you can change your character through role playing. We actually had a character go from being a neutral person to an evil person to a good person through role playing. And it was a very fascinating thing. They went from, and they even changed what lifestyle kind of that they were too. Just because you pick a lifestyle doesn't mean you're stuck with that forever. The one thing that I never understood about Dungeons and Dragons is, especially for elves, is when you picked a class, you were stuck with that. And elves live for hundreds of years, and you're not allowed to change your class. It's like, what?
Well, and in the old BX and Beckby elves, that was your class. Dwarf and halfling, that was your class. Your race was your class.
I know that's a weird concept too. That's a really weird
But
concept.
it worked for BX and Beckme. I love that game system. That's how I started.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't
for a
bad. I'm
living?
just saying
I'm
that
an
it's
elf.
just kind of strange that your class is elf. So
Well,
what do you do for a living, elf?
I never understood how an elf, who, like you said, could live hundreds, if not thousands of years, but yet they could not advance beyond what a human could do in 60.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Right? When I first started playing, because elves were my favorite when I first started playing, and I'm like, okay, so my elf is 500 years old. I'm maxed out mage. Are you telling me I can't go be a warrior or something? You know,
No.
I'm stuck with this maxed out level of whatever it is, and I can't do something else for the rest of my life. That seems a bit.
Like, I still have hundreds of years. I can't advance anymore.
I
There's no way.
can't.
I'm 12th level. That's it. That was. I'm pretty sure that was where they capped out.
Yeah, because they maxed out the level for that race too. You couldn't go beyond a specific level because of your race, and it's like, what? So
yeah, I wasn't a big fan of level caps, and
so here I am, 500 years old, waiting for what? To be called to the West or whatever. I'm stuck that way forever. That's just crazy.
That's good. Spine takes. You guys really the Spine Takes when they go live on Saturday nights, it's a hoot. I've been having a good time on their show. Uncanny Swag's on there too.
They're trading people on our chat. What's up with that?
Rascal and Lucy says they created a D6 system in world where there was no level cap.
Okay.
My problem with level cap, that's me. My problem with level cap was it just didn't make any sense. But then we expanded our D&D AD&D rules. We even put out our own campaign booklet. I have one right here, a Dwarf Player's Guide, and we had all the classes and everything going to 30th level, and we had some level caps and stuff that I had in here that were optional. But what we did was it became a little ridiculous because
that little book there was
everything was capped off at 30th level.
Yeah, we did cap at 30th level. We did.
Same, man. Same.
So yeah, that particular little book was his own little homebrew that he had before he met me, of his own set of classes and his own set of level advancement with
that kind of put me on the path to making my own game system, and I didn't even realize at the time. I thought I was just making my own little supplement to AD&D Second Edition.
Yeah,
because that was, I'm really kind of loyal when it comes to stuff like that. I was a D&D player, but now with Lenharrow, I can be whatever kind of player I want or whatever kind of referee I want.
That's true, and then you could evolve it through role play.
Right,
and that's the part that I love the most about Dungeons and Dragons was the role playing aspect. I know there are people out there that are just like, oh, let's go to the next fight, or let's go to the next dungeon, or let's go to the next.
Anyone else realize most of those people went to Magic the Gathering after?
Yes, a lot of those people did go to Magic the Gathering because all they wanted to do was fight things, and for me, it wasn't about. I mean, yeah, obviously the adventures are fun. It is fun about that, but it's also about connecting with each other, creating this world together between you and the players and the ref. Chris and I, our gamers get into really intricate things. Like I said, I'm a tavern owner, so I run a tavern and I get into it. We just recently killed it was a ward that had been scourging our town for a while, and we killed it. And my character took its carcass to I don't know who does the.
It was the blacksmith.
The stuff they stuffed. Yeah. So what I did is I had the head cut off. Yeah, I had the head cut off. The
dragon
stuffed, and the back the pelt taken off, and I stretched it. And I put it in the in our our chat thingy or whatever, their Discord thingy. I actually made a trophy out of it, and so that's why I really like that. And we built upon that. Luna over there, she wants to start a canine unit in our village, and it. Chris has made it
And
so
also
it's
sell
our
wine on
village.
the side.
yeah, exactly. Chris has made it so it's our village that we are creating and putting together and helping. And
Well,
Jacob,
we're actually playtesting the Heroes of Havens Run campaign setting, and this is going to actually be the third time we've started it with some of these same characters. And I've always thrown this bandit in who I call Bob, and I made him part of the campaign. And this version, I'm actually giving him a different accent in every game, and then the
you
players.
do remember I was the one that named him Bob, right?
Okay, but Luna is Songbird. This is her first time playing this game with us. The first time she's played Lenharrow with us, and she has taken our soldier character, her Maria, to new levels, and I'm really liking what you're doing with it.
Feel like the character.
Maria was just a stone-faced soldier, but what have you done with Maria, Luna?
I've made her a little bit more playful when she's not around her fellows in the military. She's also very single-minded in her goals. However, she will occasionally take a sidetrack towards something that she will think help better her goals. In other words, the minute
never,
we saw
yeah,
that,
put that one up. Never take off your bartender. Yeah, put that one up. Yes.
Sorry, Luna. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm the barkeep. Yes, never piss me off. That's right.
Yeah, he'll put hairballs in your drink.
Oh no!
I have plenty of fur. I am playing a very furry cat, man. He's like you know those cats that are super fluffy? That is me. I'm super fluffy and super fat. Although I have some amazing feats of agility, though, guys.
Agility and strength. Don't
Well,
yourself.
I want to hear some more about Maria because, man, I love what she's doing with this character.
I saw the
She also
bartender
got a
comment.
promotion, which apparently never happened, as well as her parents ran a wine distillery before in her backstory, which I've cleared it with G.I. Joe Gamer first. But basically, she lived on a farm, and her main goal is to actually get the people's land back from the Lord, who is slowly buying up all the land because. Let's face it, a lord buying up all the land that the people own bit by bit is frankly suspicious. So
That's right. I'm going to help you buy all that land back too.
Is to overthrow the village government, essentially.
The elected official is okay. We're just not okay with that evil lord that pretty
Lord
much.
Harwinton needs to go down, down, down.
He takes orphans and forces them to work on his farm.
Yeah, Katie's not in this game, so she's kind of out of it. Yeah. I think Jay's just liking hanging out with us and listening, but
Jay's like,
I don't want to feel that.
Jay's working on his homework.
I'm doing props and stats over here, so.
Oh, that was pretty weird. Okay, every time I try to click on one of these, something happens here. Yes, it sounds like real life, huh? I agree.
I'm listening. I'm answering when I can't, but I'm doing my props and stats.
Oh yeah, she's also currently leading a rescue / witch hunt mission. Because
this is true.
She is hellbent on making the witch that put all the male soldiers in her thing specifically because she's the only girl soldier. Just basically throwing her into jail herself.
You're going to throw the witch in jail? You're not going to kill her?
Only I can bully the male soldiers. You know?
She doesn't like that character at all.
No, she does not. She is hell bent.
Okay, so this is.
I met you, Luna.
Like, there
This is
are
the
worse
interesting-
things than death that she would only be able to do if she were in the custody of the town jail.
She's so into character, she doesn't even realize you're complimenting that she's in character.
Right? So here's the thing with that though. Okay, so I find it interesting. We've done this a couple of times for some games, and now I know everybody loves making their own personal character. They always do. They love making whatever character they particularly want. But on occasion, Chris will have 10 or 20 pre-made characters that you pick for his campaign.
Well, actually, that's kind of the way I want to have it in all the Lenharrow campaign settings. I want to have that in each book.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
They
so
actually
pick their
really
own
nice.
characters, but we have them there for them.
yeah, so no, I find it interesting because we've had several gamers when we announced these particular types of campaigns going, I gotta stick to whatever you pick. But I have seen, especially in our games, that people have actually when they've done these campaigns, they have actually found and fallen in love with the characters that we created because they were able to make that character their own.
Yeah,
Well, that's right here.
And that's
Yeah,
what
and
happened with me and Maria Elizabeth Daring. Like,
Yeah, so she didn't create that character, but she made it her own.
When did she get the second middle name? I like it, but
Wait, what was the middle
Maria
name?
Havana.
one of those
The whole
characters.
name I said was Elizabeth because my brain went to Rachel Elizabeth Dare from Percy Jackson.
we could call her Maria Havana Elizabeth Daring if you want.
No, I'll stick to my Maria dear.
Havana.
No, she's my Maria dear.
Okay, we're coming up to about to where I want to break it here at 6:30, between 6:30 and 6:45, because afterwards we're going to be doing another live stream where we're kind of celebrating the fact that we've done 100 videos. This is our 100th video, so we're going to be jumping on that. And in that, we might actually
dance
do.
party.
I don't care, but in that we might actually do some character creation for our Mad game, so that might be fun if those players show up. Well, Katie's in that game, and so is Jay, so that might be some fun. Hopefully, we'll get the other 4 players from that game in there too. But the way I want to kind of close this out as we finish up this particular episode of Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures Enhanced Edition is by asking you in your own words, and we'll start with. We'll start with Jay since she doesn't get to say much, and so I'll put it like this. I'll put us up on like this, so we can put you up here. And I know you'll be talking through your mom's screen, but what's in a level to you? What is it?
I missed the entire question.
What is a level?
What is in a level?
What is in a level?
In your opinion, what's in a level? After having this discussion, what's in a level?
For you.
I'm thinking of how to word this so it makes sense and it's not just a bunch of doubles. So for me, a level would be just a number that signifies that you are higher up in life, and whatnot. You're just gonna do cooler things. Yeah, I think that's in the summary of what I think a level is.
Okay, all right.
I want my brain to go.
We'll go to Jake and Luna, and we'll let them decide who goes next. What's in a level, guys?
Honestly, I can sum it up in one word: arbitrary. But also, bigger number, go burr.
Yes.
Bigger number, go burr.
Bigger number, go burr.
Okay, how about you, Luna?
This discussion's actually given me a whole bunch of ideas for a campaign that I would like to try and run.
Ooh, would
We're
you
down
Yeah,
for
I'm
that.
actually writing those ideas down now.
Oh, so you want to run?
And they're
our
actually
campaign?
big. Yeah. And they're actually big campaign worthy ideas, not like one shot ideas that I typically have, which is perfect.
See, and that's what we really like to hear is with that we are what do you call it, enhancing or giving you more to your imagination or more to your creativity. We like to spark that.
Inspiring.
We like to inspire. We like to spark. We like to give people the chance to do big ideas and things. So yeah, that's wait, am I next? Is that why you put me up here? Am I next? Oh,
You are now. You decided.
okay. Oh well, okay. So the actual is what's in a level is it doesn't make any sense. I think I right here on my thing here. I think I summarily put it for what I think about level. For me, level feels restricting. It feels like you're in a box kind of a thing. Like you're like this little cookie cutter thing, because with levels and specific, you can actually make the exact same character with levels. You can make the exact same character every time if you really wanted to, and not have any deviations from that character, whereas in Lenharrow it's not even remotely possible.
It is, but it would be boring.
It is, but when you're role playing and you're getting different skills, no one's going to remember all the different skills of a particular character. I mean, that's why with character sheets, obviously you can carbon copy it, obviously, but if you're doing it like through role play or whatever, what your character how things happen in your game, or how things progress for you in that particular moment, there is a very small percentage that you're going to end up with an exact copy of any kind of character, period, in our game system. And that's my favorite thing about Lenharrow and getting rid of level is you can't duplicate exactly what happens to your character, exactly how your character progresses. Whereas in game systems that have level, you can make the exact same. I played Diablo, and you have no idea how many of my characters look almost exactly the same. So that's my take on level and why it should be tossed to the winds.
Okay, I guess that takes us to Katie then.
Yeah, so I think levels are like, for lack of a better term, pissing in the wind. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
You can steal my lines. That's okay.
Pissing in the wind. I like that. Sometimes it works. Sometimes
a naked man pissing in the wind.
Sometimes you got two streams going in opposite directions.
Tonight we actually do.
So yeah, I mean, because lower level, like when you're a starting character and you start leveling up, it usually works, but once you get to the higher levels, it kind of falls apart. And that's true in just about any gaming system that uses levels.
Gotcha again.
It's very true. It's very true.
Yeah, you know why I like this guy.
I agree with that.
Thanks for being here,
100%. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Katie. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with Katie. That hits the nail on the head. It doesn't give for much adjustments for refs. The refs have to become more creative on their own instead of allowing the players to be more creative with what they do with their characters. You have to become more creative on how to challenge these characters that are getting these different power classes and stuff.
But yet the ref can be as involved as they want. So go ahead and sum up, Katie, and then I'll have my little spiel, and then we'll sign off here in a bit and say goodbye. and then we'll come back and at the top of the hour and for our after party type thing.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I sum up levels and systems that use levels. Is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh,
So
I shouldn't be looking at that.
But yet in Lenharrow, it seems like
I can't look.
it always seems to just work. Making the mag game, I put my first character together last night just from the rules I've written, and it just seems to have fallen right into place. There were little tweaks that I had to make, and I still probably do, but having only worked on it for like 2 weeks, making it a Lenharrow clone, it just seems to just work for anything. It just does, and that's, I may be biased because it's the system I created, but if I, as a game designer, would have taken Lenharrow and never seen it before and used it to make the game I'm making right now, I'd have been like, this is the best template I've ever seen to make a game, but probably because I'm biased. But
well, I do like that you are doing that, and that's what you're playtesting with the new gamers.
Right, that's going to be coming up in October on the night.
Yeah, so you guys are going to be play testing how it works, and you'll probably make adjustments and tweaking, just like we did with Lenharrow. We've been working on the Lenharrow system for years. Not saying that it's going to take years for Mag to work out.
Oh, it won't, because the work's already been done, the hard part. So
yeah, you're just going to be needing tweaking and stuff, and then maybe a cool cover.
My take here on what's a level. Since I picked on everybody else, it's time for me to pick on myself here. But
I know.
I always have a rough time when I'm talking about myself. But what's in a level? To me, I love that adrenaline rush of leveling up. I did. But when I created the Lenharrow system, I get that every week, even as a ref, because I watch my players get that sensation just when they spend their CGPs, even if it's 50 CGPs on this little granite power or anything that they want, maybe a quick spell as a wizard. And sometimes they'll spend lots of CGPs to get something really big. And to me, that's more exciting than that I wait, and then, woo, I got to level up. And I get more of a rush from spending CGPs than I ever did from waiting to level up.
Yeah, I think it enhances the role-playing part in RPGs.
So to me, what's in a level? Not much, and that's kind of how we on the back of I believe it's the referee's guide. I asked what's in a level, but anyway, that's what we got for you tonight. What I want everybody to do here before we go is just give me any final thoughts, and I'll put us all up on the screen, and kind of a freestyle here. So what do you guys think about this particular topic and this episode in general? Or Lenharrow?
I've personally been thinking about levels for a while as a game designer because I want to make my own video games and stuff. And it's just the more I think about it and the more I try to play with the idea of levels, the less it makes sense, especially from a lore perspective, because intrinsically speaking, you never actually sit there and go, well, do we need a level 5 warrior for this, or would a level 3 warrior work? No, that doesn't work in realistic conversation. We don't sit there and go, would you like a level 5 employee to do a level 3 employee's work? Or blah, 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 blah. It just doesn't work that way. So why should it work when referring to characters in video games?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. When you look around outside in a crowd, you don't have little numbers on top of everybody's head saying, that person is appropriate for our party, that person is not, kind of a thing. You can, the way we have it is because there's no level, you can pick up whoever. We've had people pick up monsters and turn them into characters. Especially the little goblin. I don't know why. We always end up with a little goblin or something like that with us.
Well, in the Carnage game, we actually ended up with an orc who was a samurai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. His king gave him to us as a present. It was lovely.
To make you go away because you were going to kill him when you do it.
but yeah, that's what I really like about this, because it gives us more of a role playing aspect. You can hire that link boy, and maybe that link boy turns out to be a really great knight or something like that in your party. You know, nobody is determined by all these little numbers on top of.
Well, like the soldier Bernard, he was the one of 10 that survived, and he ended up being a very cool character that I started playing.
Oh yes, he got the title, The Soldier That Lived.
Here's one of our Fridays for the Hill players. Hello, the Serene.
Serene, hello.
I like that your system gives the players the option to get what you want. We do too.
Yes, Serene loves
have a mage.
Serene loves playing weird things.
Well, that's cool. We're going to be going on here at the top of the hour, so you'll be able to join us then if you want.
Oh yeah, you can join us for our 100th episode celebration. When are we starting that?
Yeah, well, if you have something to add, Katie, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't Serene one of the characters in Mag?
She's in the Mag game. Yeah, she's playing Blast Plup. If I can speak, she's playing Blast Plup. A mechanism dog canine. That's gonna be cool.
Oh yeah, I saw her picture. That looks pretty cool. You know, you guys are just getting this. I'm like, maybe I do want to play this game. I'm like, no. I got too much going on. I got too much going on right now.
You know what? I would make an exception for one more player if it was cool with all the other players, but
no. It's good. I want you to play with other people. I want to give the opportunity for other people.
Well, I appreciate that.
Especially people who
the Mac game.
Well, so no, I want to encourage your G.I. Joe bug a little bit there.
You mean my obsession? It's
your obsession. It's your obsession. I want you to share your obsession with like-minded people. I'm not that big on I like G.I. Joe. You know, I don't mind being surrounded by little men all the time, but I'm not that big on it.
Okay, does anybody else have anything to add? Okay, I guess that's a no. I'm gonna take us out here. I appreciate everybody who watched tonight and everybody who joined in the chat and live. I'm really enjoying doing this channel, and I hope everybody has fun with us. And what the whole purpose of this 100th episode was, not just to talk about what's in a level. I was so happy that it happened to fall on this episode of Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures Enhanced Edition. Because my whole concept of this channel was giving you things that are from the hilt. So it just happens to be my mom's maiden name, and I loved it as an author name. And for the channel, it just, to me, made so much sense. So that's 100 videos in, and I hope to do as many more as everybody will put up with me for. So on that note, if you guys want to hang out with us again in about a half hour, that'd be great. But as far as Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures Enhanced Edition is concerned, we are going to be back in 2 weeks for kind of like the last bi-weekly episode. And then we're probably going to be doing about one a month, because we pretty much hit all the topics that we've wanted to for this game system. And I thanks to Spine Six and your crew and Rascal and Lucy and definitely Uncanny Swag. We appreciate it. And I didn't even read it. I just threw it up there. You are one of a kind.
No, that is just too funny. He's from the pants. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Oh, and on that note, we'll see you in a while. And that was our happy 100th. So thank you. And Logan out. I'm going to end the stream, and I'll put everybody back on, and we can strike a pose. Good night. We'll see you in a bit if you're going to join us.